Okay, it's 10 after 6. I don't even have any idea what I'm going to talk about. I'll tell you, though, this weather, uh, it's like super foggy in the morning, but it's like, it's very like this tropical, overcast, rainy kind of thing. And so it's like warm, which I just saw this video of there's some YouTuber guy, and he and his girlfriend ate some fresh oysters, and she died. They both got sick, but she died. And um, so there's some really bad bacteria. I don't know. It's kind of strange that people just go out and I don't know. It's funny the things that seem strange. Going out and pulling some oysters out of the ocean and eating them seems so strange. But like it's got to go through a store or a restaurant or something. And that's going to make it more safe. But the water is too warm or something. And so it is making, I keep seeing some line right here. The water is making it, this bacteria. So if you're thinking about eating them, it's the same thing with this, whatever, in all these different water places, there's some sort of algae, blue, green algae or something. There's something that is growing in the water, which I think it was put there probably. In that Ryan Garcia, like, he's all over the place, man. Like, he, it's like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't even know who the guy was. And he starts saying stuff. Then they start, because then it was just recently that they were saying something. I don't know. It's just, one thing is, too, is you don't know when media is reporting on something if they're just making shit up, because he is whistleblowing. But so he had just said that there is aliens in the water, which, yeah, octopuses are aliens. Probably most of the things that are in the water are. But what we consider aliens, creatures from other places come in here or something. There's definitely, you know, but we are, a lot of us are, well, I think a lot of people are hybrids. Like they have a mix of DNA, and then it is way more of the people who are, like, I don't think that there is like a huge amount of people that have this certain DNA code that is like the original people from here, if you get what I'm saying, because there's a lot of mixing and stuff. There's a lot of stuff with labs and stuff. So I think over time that there was a lot of mixing with different beings and stuff. And then plus they even say like there's beings around that people can't even tell that they aren't human. And so, see, we get too caught up in this concept of human. We're just all different beings and different experiences. And so there's no, I don't know, human is even a limitation. But anyways, so this guy is saying that they put these bots in the water, and it's like these alien bots or something, which I've been saying, like, we're breathing them in and stuff. Man, I have been coughing and sneezing so much. It's raining, 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 rain. And last night I was in so much pain I couldn't even fucking sleep. It's like right now, and this finger is all swollen again. It keeps getting stuck. And if you even just like, it's like if I leave my hand, like if I lay like this for a minute, it's like something happens to my hand and it starts hurting really bad. Anywhere, any part of my body that lays in any kind of position for more than like a few seconds, it starts hurting really bad. So I don't fucking know, but he's saying they spray these bots, or that were drinking them. And then And then plus, I mean, they can fucking come through the shower and shit too, like, and the rain and stuff. That's why I say that they are putting stuff on us with all this stuff, or in us. And he said that they have some kind of machines or something so that they can make you sick. They use these bot things to control us. And so they can make you feel nauseous. They can make you have a headache. They can make you do all these things. So all of this stuff, though, all goes together with all this things, you know, with the frequency, putting stuff inside of us to control us. Because everything is about them wanting to control us and have control over us and stuff. You know what's something I just saw? This is so disturbing. SeaWorld is a disturbing place. All these, like, there's people going to zoos still, and now people seeing, like, everything is so disturbing. But there's this manatee that has been in, living in an isolation or whatever, like in a tank. And this thing is 37 years old and it's now alone. This, I'm pretty sure that manatees are a pack. Like they aren't like singular animals. Like all these different animals. It's such a cruel behavior going on. And you know what's wild too? So when I saw that video that I was talking about yesterday, I had no idea how much it was going to blow up. Because there's so many. Like in that dog, the bulldog in Vegas, he ended up dying, or she ended up dying. She didn't make it. But there's more of those things. There's so many cruel fucking people, man. But so the video, I didn't watch the whole thing. As soon as I like came across my thing, I saw these two pickups. It was like this guy was over on this other side, and from their car filming this thing of this guy, and all I saw was somebody getting out of their car. But then you hear the screams and cries of this dog. I couldn't see what was going on, but I could hear it. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with this person filming this? Why wouldn't you run over there and start fucking doing something? Like, hell no, you don't. God damn. I don't know how people can listen to something cry. Yesterday there was a dog out here and he kept crying, and it wasn't bothering my dog. So I kept thinking, okay, it's probably just somebody's dog who got put outside for a while and it's yelping and wants back in or something. I kept staying out there and I kept trying to hear, like, what house is this coming from, and trying to see myself, like, going up to these people's houses. Like, you can't go completely crazy, but, you know, like, if I saw like, the neighbor punching their dog, I would definitely go over there and do something. I wouldn't. So I don't understand these people who, and this only gets worse, because so everybody saw this video and people found out who it was. There was so much going out about this guy's name that I thought, is this guy some kind of an influencer or something? Like, who in the hell is this guy? And everybody's talking about him, and then more people. And apparently even the guy, I think it was the guy filming or somebody involved, because it was 3 guys, it does some kind of dog training, because the dog was, they were training it. It was a puppy being trained to hunt ducks, and it wasn't doing good. So the guy just beat it, started trying to drown it and stuff. And the kid is a 15-year-old. A 15-year-old kid was doing this to this dog. Like, I swear to God, I think, when I think back, man, it seems like that is like for me, it was a very empathetic time. Like, I had gone through so much pain and you know, trials and tribulations as a kid, that I had so much empathy for other, you know, like you saw a hurt animal or something. It's like, oh my God, I don't want anyone to feel pain. But there's an opposite, because some of us don't want anyone to feel pain because pain hurts and we don't want anyone else to feel it. But some people, they just want to lash it out. They want to give pain. They want other people to feel pain. I don't know if it takes their pain away, but goddamn tell you, that is not something you want to do. I just saw another fucking thing too. I got to throw this in real quick because this is a spiritual entanglement. Like, and whoever answers the call answers the call. That's like you're fucking linked. But this guy, I don't even know his whole story. I don't know what his death wish is. He is a guy who lives in a camper in a truck or something. I don't know for sure where he's at. He looks like just totally regular mountain guy, but he did something to a 12-year-old. He said he didn't do anything to hurt him, but whatever, the getting that label and having to register that ruined his life 10 years ago, and he gets treated with such hostility, and that's probably why he lives in his car. He probably has a hard time even finding somebody to rent to him and all that stuff, jobs and all that. So I've heard of this happening to guys who were like 18 and dating a 16-year-old, like, but they were in school together. It's different, like these kids that grow up together in school together than, just somebody just coming along from nowhere and, using the high school as a place to fish. So anyways, this guy, he says he's done. He's ready to go. And he wants somebody to come and kill him. He's not going to do it for himself. You can't. Anyways, like, you can't. There's no set thing. I can't even. He's asking them to do this. Just... and you are getting yourself in such a spiritual entanglement, like, because somebody says, yeah, do me in, there is still this whole karmic thing. I just saw this guy who was explaining that somewhere he heard, I don't even know all his thing, what he was explaining, but he was explaining that we are just strings of vibration, which that's why I keep saying we're not flesh and blood. We are this vibration. And so that's what we are. And this vibration creates these like strings. So we're a bunch of strings or something. And he was saying in order to do curses and stuff on people, you take something of theirs and then you interfere with the vibration, and that interferes with their vibration, which makes sense to me. But doing that stuff, that is the interference. That is like, that's your karmic debt. You can't, and the soul level, like, that's why I said about, like, all these girls out there who are saying that they're witches and stuff. It's like, they don't, everybody's here to learn things at different times. Like, I learned this stuff long time ago about alchemy and stuff. And you don't want to send out negative energy. You don't want to interfere. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. These people who like do spells and stuff on people, even love spells and stuff, all of that stuff, breakup ones where I was seeing some of these girls tell people how to, if you don't like somebody and you want to cause them problems, then put their, I didn't listen to the whole thing. All I heard was something about put their picture in your shoe and walk on them or something. All these things are sending out a certain kind of energy. When you're sending out a certain kind of energy, that is going to come back to you. That's karma. And so, and I think that a lot of people who have learned this, stuff did learn it through a harder time. Like, all of our lessons come through hard times. I mean, that is one thing that I am seeing so much, like, of all these people. And that is like, to those of us who have already learned the lessons or seen this stuff or whatever, We can sit back and watch as the other people see it, but they haven't seen it yet. Like I was just thinking about, I'm going to watch these kids next door for a little while today as the mom's got to go get some cancer or something cut off her face. And I don't know if it's a pre-cancer or just a burn thing like what I had done before when I was going through medical to treat it. And I don't know if they're actually going to cut a chunk off their face because they've got no problem doing that. They'll cut your goddamn nose out. They won't even consider other options. You know, they just, you know, it's Dr. Frankenstein fucking world. And I was thinking, you know, should just do the cat, like try and come up with something. As the castor oil took so many of those little things off my face. That is one thing why I thought it was effective, why I've been putting it here. And it does do something. Because this thing will start feeling like it's getting, like, I don't know, irritated or something. And I'll put some on and it will get smaller again. And I want it to go away. But, you know, I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm sure the fuck not going to go get it cut. No fucking way. And especially like right there, no, I'll just keep working on it and working on it my own self. But, you know, I think a lot of people don't, they think natural is, you know, a waste or something. They just want the medical because for one thing, it's sold to us. And another thing, you know, you think it's the safest, the fastest and all that stuff. But it's not, but people have to go through these different things and see for themselves so that they wake up and see. You can't tell them. They have to go through it. There's so many, I was trying to think because there's lots and lots, like housing stuff, rental stuff, medical stuff, definitely job people working at certain kind of places, it's corporations and stuff, all the traveling, all this stuff that is people are experiencing that gets them to see through all of the bullshit and the nonsense. So it's just so weird because like at this point, you know, I don't know what her thing is or where it's at or any of that stuff. Like I said, I don't know if they're just going to do like a little burn thing or if they're going to actually cut a chunk out of her face. But and I don't know, just all of the lies about, you know, because you put this cream on and then go bake it in and that cream is full of stuff. You know, just like everything that they give us is filled with stuff. And that's what that Ryan Garcia guy was saying. But I'm going to go back on this dog thing. So when I had seen that video, I didn't know it was going to blow up into this huge thing. Just like I saw that video of that girl who said, and she was freaking out. And she was at that park or something. And she said she had just watched a guy start his car on fire and roll it and the whole thing ignited, which it was probably already prepared. It was probably something sprayed or something there, an igniter or something, because this stuff is not just happening all by accident. And anyways, I had no idea when I had seen that one that one was going to become like this biggest fire, the 5th biggest fire ever or something, at this huge fire in California. And but see, that's what these instigators do. That's what they're here paid to do, is to start this. There's so many fires going right now too. And the smoke, of course, is gonna fill or affect everybody. And so anyways, so it was, there's a few videos that I've seen where you have no idea when you see it how big it's gonna become. And so on this one with the dog and the kids, and it's hard to even put it together. There's so many videos about it now. So many videos about it. And so apparently he had gotten arrested but his mom had bailed him out. And when he came out, supposedly he was all beat up. And then these other two guys, supposedly they're all being arrested for this. And supposedly the dog has been taken. And I think that maybe all the dogs are removed. I don't know. It's hard to say, because there was even one person saying this happened in 2023. But all these people are talking like it's totally happening right now. So it's so weird when this stuff goes, because it's so flooded. And then you always get all these mix of information. But the thing that was getting me was video after video of these grown men who were gonna go after this kid. It's like, this is a kid. So we're outraged. This kid is doing something to this defenseless animal, but then we're just gonna step it up. So then these grown-ass men are gonna do something to a defenseless kid. I mean, I don't know where this kid has come up with it. Obviously, there was people also there who didn't say, hey, you don't hit a dog like that. That's not how you train a dog. You hit a dog for trying to train them, they're not going to trust you. All you're doing is setting them up to be anxious and bite you. Like, you don't hit your dog to train it. The best way to train is what I was learning in the classes is reward system. And you don't have to give them treats all the time. It can be pets and just a lot of like, oh my gosh, good job and stuff. It all depends. Some pets, when you're trying to train them, they can be really motivated by food and make it easier. But everything is about them doing what you want and getting a reward. And when they're doing something you don't want them to do, you don't start screaming and yelling at them. You try distracting them with something else, or you wait till they calm down, and then you give that a word like good relaxation, like whatever, good calm, whatever it is. So you start rewarding them for the behaviors that you want them to do instead of what you don't want them to do. So, I don't know, because there's something about one of these guys is a trainer of these dogs, and he's like, what? So you're out here, like, how are you telling him to train him this way? Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, it's hard to know, like, what is this, something like his dad? Let me see, my throat's really itchy. Is this something that his dad has always taught him? There seems to be more to it, but I just don't understand, how it just so much of this stuff reminds me of the Twilight Zone, when people just overreact and go crazy. Like, what are we going to do? Bring back lynching? We got so many people doing horrific crimes. And I just saw a guy, and he was here in Washington, so I was listening, and he was talking about he's a whistleblower. And I couldn't even understand, because he was talking a lot with the RCW code 366 and the witnessing of this. So whatever it was, because he's a DOD fireman, but he's also military. So I don't know if that is like he's military fireman, but he's also a civilian fireman or something. But whatever had happened, he had seen, and it seems it was in another country or something, but they killed 1,700 people. And then he tried to report about it. And this is why there's a lot of countries who hate us. Like, there has been, like, I'm telling you, when they get to some of these motherfucking people, I've said, like, it's this filtering system. And they want to have, just how they have sent dark terrorists, people to create and instigate, man, just like, you get what I'm saying. The instigators that they have here, how they have a different color, so that it causes more friction and more fear. And it is like, it creates even a cultural divide, man. But over there, then it's people who look like this are the same thing, is what they switch it up. So over here, they've got to find people like that. And so, okay, so for a long time, it could be, say like a kid who's kind of bad in school or something, maybe his dad beats him, he doesn't show up at school or whatever, drops out. That used to be, those guys went into the service. And I don't know, I think they've changed some stuff, but before it was like, that was like a catch thing. Like, oh, well, you didn't finish school, let's go in the service, and they'll educate you and teach you. They'll like train you to be subservient, mindless, follow orders, and they feed off of this ego, hierarchy, anger. Like there's this part of people that they can feed off of. So it's not every person, but see, that's what I'm saying. They look for certain people for certain jobs, and they have this system to siphon through us and find the people that they want. And that's how they move people around and direct them through our society. It's, people think like that they just are, even think of it in school when they gave us tests and told us what we'd be good at, so they direct us in ways that they want us to go. And then they take certain people and use them for certain jobs and stuff. So you take a bunch of angry guys who haven't dealt with, like if they were born to, I don't know, there's so many toxic family dynamics. And there's been lots and lots of boys who were beaten by their dads and stuff. There's lots of boys who were also SA'd, but there's lots and lots of girls who are SA'd, but there's definitely, I say, more boys that were beaten than girls. Like if we put it all out there, I would say it was probably the majority of abuse towards girls would have been emotional, because we're emotional, but it would have been, in the sex thing. And there would still be some, hitting or whatever, but there's boys who were just the snot beat out of them by angry dads. Like I saw my dad start hitting my brother. Like he was so mean to my brother. But so anyways, I think that there is a lot of that, guys who are in pain and angry and haven't dealt with that, and then they get them into the service, and then they feed them a story. They could tell them anything. But there was a part during, I think it was the Gulf WAR, and I don't remember the whole thing, what it was, but I remember it being a lot of these groups, like however they do the military, they have them like in groups, like what is that called? Like they're all number battalions or something, and they're by numbers, and then they move these around. Like, and there's no movement that is by accident. But so, because they moved certain ones to these certain places, and they tell them certain stories, and then they get these guys to go out. There was like really horrible abuse that was going on. They've done horrific things, even back in Vietnam. That was one of the things that people had a really hard time with when they were coming back, because they did such horrible things to people, and it was haunting them. But they tell the people that the people are going to get them, and the people are not human like they are. And then they get us to where we can't communicate because we have the language barriers. And so we decide like they are less human than us. And so there's like horrific things that have happened through different times of war, where they always create this hostility towards other people, and then they build it off of these men who are so angry and easily led. I don't know. I've got this whole scene now of I think it was called A Deer Hunter or something. That movie, that horrible scene with the Russian roulette. Oh, and the there's just so much torture. Like, how do you torture somebody? And how do you listen to someone's pain and screaming and it not affect you? Like, fuck, I don't know. So with those people who have that issue, it's not going to be going forward. like, and even somebody who, you know, just because a guy says he wants somebody to do him in, like, there'll be some wackadoo person who probably, because this guy keeps doing it. I'm seeing like 3 videos that have popped up. I never saw him before in my life. And now all of a sudden his videos keep popping up. And I'm sure some wackadoo guy the other day on the freeway, 2 people had another one of these. Like they're having some kind of altercation. And then that's another thing you got to watch out for when you're traveling is there's just people who are lost their goddamn minds and they're armed. And these ones had a whole thing and killed each other. And that stuff is all deep soul stuff because you always have a choice in life to do better, to be smarter, to be kinder, to be more empathetic, to have compassion. Like and it isn't like, you know, like I'm saying how they have siphoned and taken certain guys and stuff. And oh, there's more stuff coming out now of another jail, of another person who got their person back and was very suspicious. The whole thing was suspicious and had paid for their own autopsy. And he was missing his HEA, this whole thing, you know, same as my last name. He was missing it. So I'm sure all these things, you know, a heart would probably be worth a lot of money. More than a kidney. It still is like, it's such a curiosity. I'm very curious as to see what, I mean, is it that the people who run this world, that they go through parts every week or something? Like, because they're old fucking relics, old fucking vampires. And so they need new parts all the time. But if all those old relics are arrested, where are all these goddamn parts going? Or are we just finding out of all these missing parts? But anyways, so there's more people are finding that they're getting their own paid ones. There was like, I don't know, 8 more people or something that did it, and all their people were missing parts. And so I had said, like, that's what those jails are. They just use the people. They did it in the asylums. They put these people in jails, and then look how they are the ones who decide who goes to prisons and stuff. And they are the ones who push, like, there's people who shouldn't be in prison, who are in prison just because of the color of their skin. And so they do all that stuff on purpose for a lot of ulterior motives, like to beat down the community. But there's lots of people who can be in prison who are like can heal themselves. Like you can heal all the pain and stuff. You don't have to stay angry and bitter, but they feed off of people's anger and bitterness. So they don't want them to heal that. But as the soul who wants to find peace and be able to enjoy existing, yeah, that is stuff that you want to heal. You don't want to stay in this pain and suffering. And you don't want to be putting spells on people and shit. You don't want to be interfering. You don't even want to, this is something that people need to see too. You don't even want to be sending out I hate them. I hate them. I hope they get in a car wreck today. I hate that. You don't want to be doing that. That is, it's like casting spells. It's like you are interfering with their energy. And you won't even know how much you've interfered with it until you go into your life review and you see how much you put out of alignment, like where you, because it's all this stuff where you put things out of balance is how you have to balance it back. So you get these entanglements, you get these tied entanglements with other souls, and then you got to try and get out of it, but you get into it and then you don't know you're in it, and you go from life to life because you don't, when you're in these lives in this game, it's a part of the challenge. You don't get to know all this stuff. It was also, it's a part of the distraction, but it also shows you how connected you are to yourself. And so there's a lot of things about being here and not being able to see everything. But then you are entangled with these people, and you got to keep coming back and solving or settling it or something. You have to put things back into balance. And it I don't know. I mean, to me, where you see these people who just keep killing each other back and forth and stuff, I would say it's a lot more harder to put things into balance than you would think. Like, I feel like it's very important to be very mindful in life and to always be thinking about a bigger purpose and the reason behind things, and always seeing where it is that you want to draw your energy from and where you want to be putting your energy towards. And so and you know, if you feel like this motivation, well, I'd love to go kill that guy, he deserves it anyways, like that's very judgmental. And I mean, anybody could say anything, you know, if they just wanted to. Because there's people who want to do themselves in, but they are too scared. And so then they do suicide by cops. You know, they commit a crime, they go out waving a weapon or some, which I just saw a video. This is so horrific, some of this stuff going on. It's just so hard. There was a kid, 17-year-old kid, and he was Native American. So they hate them too. They hate all people of all colors. They hate everybody. Unless you were just a droid and just mindless and do what they say, they hate you. And but they're really against darker people, because the darkness, I swear to God, that it's a connection to this DNA, this original people. And so so this kid was walking down the street, walking home, and it was getting dark or something, and he carried a little BB gun pistol in case animals came to try and get him, so he could shoot at them so that he wouldn't get attacked by animals. And this cop pulls up and starts saying something to him, and then tells him to show his hands or something. So the kid throws his little pellet gun thing to the side and puts his hands up. The cop shoots him 4 times, and the kid falls down. Then the cop, the kid's saying it's just a BB gun, and so he shoots him 14 more times. And then not releasing the name of the cop, but he killed the kid. And then, of course, there's so many crimes against Native American people, and then they just make it like that they can't say, they like it's so horrible when you realize like they don't even count the women. They don't do them on the census and stuff because they don't count them as they don't matter. It's man, I swear there's so many horrible things in this world. I saw this video. This was kind of funny. This woman had this little baby girl. She's like 2 or 3 years old, and she thought her kid was the smartest kid that she'd ever seen in her whole life, and she was thinking of going and having her tested for being a genius. And so she said then she went to this play date party thing, and her little girl was over playing with these 3 other little girls. And she said she was watching and listening and stuff, and she said that she realized her daughter wasn't even the smartest one out of the group. And then she's like, then she starts realizing, well, she's always playing with all these little boys. All her friends have all little boys. And she's like, and all little boys want to do is jump and grunt and groan and hit and stuff. And they're very different than girls. And so her question was, how did we end up being ruled by the boys and not the girls? Like, how did this all happen? I think it had a lot, because there was a period of times, because there was, in the tribes, it was led by the feminine energy, for a long time, as from what I understood. And then, I don't know, probably at the same time as like kings wanted to take the crown, the it's the church and the crown and these rich people, the money, the people, how they get control. And then they just can beat women down, like when they're stronger. But now we're at this time where it's changing again. It's going to change, because it isn't going to be just like, oh, well, men are too stupid to run the world, because men are going to become more emotional and imbalanced too. Men have been too heavy in their masculine, and they need to pull in and have, compassion and empathy. They need to pull in and find balance in themselves, heal their wounds, and get in touch with their more emotional side, their more nurturing side. So they also need to find a balance. As and women also need to find balance, because they need to find their strength, and not their strength in, like, oh, I can be independent because I can work for OnlyFans, and being independent and seeing that they have value beyond their body. There's a lot of that has to break free. Women, and it's funny, because I used to, like a long time ago when I was younger, I used to not ever be judgmental towards sex workers or whatever. I always felt like, well, shit went down. Like, if you had no way to support yourself, you got that. Somebody's going to pay you for that. And so I always felt like that is reasonable. I didn't ever look down on the people who were doing it. I just thought that they were to a point that they had nothing else. They didn't know how to support themselves. They didn't believe in themselves. They didn't feel smart enough. Whatever reason, because it's such a degrading way to make a living. And so I always, felt bad for the people. And now, but now we have like an influx. It's like people could be doing other things, but it's like more out of laziness. Like, well, all I got to do is spread my legs and then I'm good to go. It's like, but that's degrading yourself. It's like not seeing your own value. So, and like I had said before, like the increase of girls dancing and just trying to be provocative, even young girls. I mean, we've got this with young girls, like the 12-year-old girl who drove her parents' car to the hotel, met up with the guy, and then he took off. The pictures that they show of her online, it's like, well, if your daughter is putting pictures like that out there, I mean, is that being a pedo? Like, yeah, she's young, but she's sure not acting or looking young. And so when you're putting out this front, like that you're older, like, I don't know. But this is what we've done to society. This is what we've done to young girls. And, they think that they have to be sexual to be acknowledged as a young, attractive girl or something. Everything is selling sex, and everything is sexualized. I mean, if you've never seen Euphoria, like, you would just, to me, I swear to God, it could be rated X. I don't know, especially the content and stuff is, so anyways, I was saying something about that show. I think I was saying it to one of my granddaughters, and she's like, it's not that bad. It's like, because they don't have anything to compare it to. They don't know a world where it wasn't just showing fucking sex and pushing sex and making it all about high school and trans kids having sex with old men, like all this stuff. Like it's like they don't know a world without that. When we have known a world that wasn't pushing that, and we've seen how it became, like I still remember back when anything that was even, the rating system was a lot more harsh, and there was nothing that was provocative on it. It had to be on later at night when the kids were asleep. You know, like once you became teenagers, you'd stay up late. Your parents got cable. Then you could go watch like more provocative shows, like where somebody, you know, these stupid comedies or something, and the girls take off their shirts and are running around with no bra on or something, like just stupid shit. Now it's turned into just like softcore porn. Everything is just like hardcore sex, man. And then you, like, to me it's also like, why don't any of these people ever say no? But it's like they want the money, they want the opportunity, and so they're willing to sell themselves out. But it's also, it has a degradation in all of society. It's like selling all of society out. It's like we all have to step up. We can't be lured and led by, you know, cheap champagne and you know, dirty sex or something. We have to be more of, you know, this, I keep hearing astute, but this person who has integrity, and you know, that we're not going to just sell ourselves out for the I don't know, the cheapest bid, the lowest bid, because that's what it seems like. Even though it's like the highest, but it just seems like it's going the opposite. It's like, how low will you go? And you know, we have a society that's so beat down, and people feel so bad about themselves that they're just go down, and like it's crazy. But there is definitely people out there who are more capable, and I don't know. I think that well, it's for sure when all of a sudden the lights come on and people see themselves, they're going to feel bad about that. They're going to be like, oh my God, how did I not see that I had more value than this? Why would I, you know, sell myself out? Especially just some pervy guys that are just want to, it's like, they maybe need to work on their fantasy in their own mind. They don't need to have it all played out for them. You know, I mean, that's why our society has gone so dark. Oh, and the Houston thing is just getting worse. I have seen a couple of videos now of nurses crying about it. They say the amount of people coming in, being diagnosed, and, you know, if you remember back, you know, a few years back when I was talking about the LOT in number, and that all of those things that they were putting in people all had certain numbers, and it's already been proven by some different biologists, microbiologists, doctors and stuff that have been looking at this stuff, that there was different strains, different stuff, and it was already had been told, and maybe even by Juan, I don't know, but I knew, as I knew for years. I told my grandkids, because they were like 18 years old or something, and I was like, don't be going out and sleeping with all these people. They put this stuff inside, and everybody's gonna get, you know, and and they're like, oh, Grandma, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Oh my God, Grandma, you're so crazy. Grandma, crazy Grandma. Oh, I have told so many people in my family, don't feel bad when you realize I wasn't crazy. Because I wasn't ever just saying shit. I wasn't just talking for talk. Like, but, and the, you know, lot, and then they go to certain areas, So, and I've said for a long time, certain areas have certain things because they isolate their experiments. And so, but that, because it's going so hard and heavy in Houston, Houston's like fucking, like, I mean, there's a lot of shit going hard and heavy there. And like the murder of dogs just nonstop. It's outrageous. Dog comes into the shelter, just murder him. Like, um, and you know why we haven't closed down the kill shelters? Because you know, all of them get grants and get money. Well, we can do better with this money. Like, and then you know that they're selling that stuff, and there is more coming out about that. I don't know if I had already said this one. This was somebody who was talking about wigs, and I had already talked about this, and it coming off to people, and so, and this kind of perturbed me because talking about these women in India and how great their hair is because it's so healthy because they don't color it and stuff. It's like, look at the women over here, just damage the fuck out of their hair. Well, we want those healthy women's hair. Why don't you goddamn take care of your hair? Like, fuck. So, in India, there's all these women dying, and then they get washed up on this other beach across the bay over here, like in China or something. I don't know what other place. So they just go out there on the beaches and snip it all off, and then they sell it. It's I. God, our society is so, oh, God. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. So vile, man. Like, what money brings out in people. What fucking perversion brings out in people. What alcohol and drugs bring out in people. Like, it's, fuck, man. Let me think of what that was because that was weird. Oh, yeah. This was a person on the sidewalk, and they go walking up. There was this dog laying there. I don't know, it was panting. It was really, really hot outside, and the dog didn't have any water. So the person goes up, and it's these two homeless people sitting there, and they said, well, I'm going to give your dog some water. So they're pouring water into this dish and giving this dog water and sitting there drinking this water. And they're doing this for a while. These two people are so out of it on drugs, they're like zombies. They're just sitting there like, I think they're even kind of bent over, like, just sitting there, these two people. No interaction with anybody or anything, nothing in the world, nothing in the physical. I'm sure there's a lot going on up in here. Probably fucking being chased by demons. Who knows? There is these other realms, and it's all on your vibration, where you go. And there's been a lot of people who were on serious drugs and stuff who talk about, you know, demons are there and stuff. Yeah, because you're going into these places with these, I don't know, where you can see these darker spirits. I still not gonna say like demons and stuff because what we have been taught about demons and angels, I don't see it that way. And so people all say it's demons and stuff, but I don't see it as being like this super intelligent being that is outsmarting you. It's parasitic. It outsmarts you because it like knows you. It knows how to feed off of you. And so it's not like, and then there is like people who get too much of that, too much dark energy, but they feed the dark energy. So they get too much. And then people think like, well, they're taken over by demons. Like there's a lot of that right now. Like these people are taken over by demons and stuff. Well, they're overrun with dark energy because they don't push back. They feed this beast inside of them, which to me, the beast is always coming from pain and suffering. That's this beast of hatefulness. But if you are sending out this hatefulness to other people, it's going to come back on you. And even if somebody says, hey, you know, go and do me a favor and do me in, that would be a karmic tie, an entanglement. You would not, it's like everything that's going to happen is going to happen the way it's going to happen. So even if it were to happen that way, there would still be a more natural, it's like there would be a more natural way of leaving, and somebody else taking it is like taking it away from the universe. Even if it happens that way, there's still uh, uh, it's like you stepping in front of the universe and saying, no, I'm got this. You guys just take a break. It's like, how are we over the universe? That's like you saying you're over God. Like you can't be over the universe. You can't. Everything has a motion. Everything has a set thing. Everything is in motion. And when you go and create a conflict in that motion, then you are creating an interference. And in the interference, every repercussion that comes from the interference has an energetic tie to you. So that is how you bind yourself to people through karma. And, like you could freaking, like, the guy's mom, what she goes through and what you caused that to happen. You are tied to that then. So, I mean, it keeps the universe going, but, that to me is, you just got to be more mindful. You got to think things different, think things through spiritual eyes. Like, you look through life as having purpose and that you being here. And I don't know, I feel like it's significant to realize like you're old. You're billions of years old. You are an energy that has a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. And you're just in this game so that it's like to challenge yourself and to grow and to expand and become more of who you are. But the thing is like there's so much stuff going on because there's certain energies like they may want to, become more of what they are. But there's certain energies that aren't going forward. Like you're not going forward if you are, if you think it's okay to go out and beat a dog or beat a person or steal something or if you think those things are okay, that's the energy that's not going on. Because we're going into a time where we all treat each other with respect and it's peaceful. We go into a time where it's abundant and the technology is sophisticated and we live a very different, more connected life. And then if you're not ready for that, then you don't go forward. And your soul knows. That's why where people were saying, well, your soul already knows what you're here for. Yeah, your soul knows if you're here for this or not. And if you're not, that doesn't mean like you're bad. Like I've said a bunch of times, like this isn't the only way into the age of Aquarius. Just like here where we are, there's all these different beings and stuff that come into our reality and they don't get birthed in. They just come through portals and stuff. So it's the same thing. Every place there's other entries to go into it. And there will be people being birthed into it. Like we're already having lots of people being birthed for it. And then there'll be people birthed into it. So people will be able to come back. But I don't know when they come back. Like I don't know, like if, say your mom dies and then she comes back as your child, like if you guys would have that awareness, like that is becoming a thing though, where a lot of people are talking to their kids and finding out like they're their grandpa and stuff. So, what a different thing that would be. There would be a lot of lessons too in your parenting, because there would be parts where you would think, well, you did that to me, so now I'm going to do it to you. So those would be challenges for you to get over, of this back and forth, because that is what souls seem to do in these back and forths. But you want to do better. That's what we're all here for, is to grow and to do better. And each time that the baton is handed to you, it's your opportunity to, take it to where it can go. Not just stick to what you know, but take it somewhere new, so that everybody gets opportunities to see things differently and grow and change. And and there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of challenges to change and growth, but it's super important, especially right now at this time on the planet. People have to be able to look at themselves more. You got to be able to look at situations too, through the soul. And there's a purpose, there's a reason. There's so much more deeper stuff to spirituality than what they try and, the people who are getting all the platforms. It's because they're not taking it deep enough or something. They're not giving you enough information, and so it's a part of the misinformation. And so that's why, don't just listen to some of these people. You got to go in deeper, go look up stuff for yourself, do more research into spirituality, follow the things that you feel led to learn about. But everything is about this connection, and we are all connected, and it is through these strings. And we do feel like, you can feel when your neighbor is having a hard time. It reverberates over. So it's like a lot of times you may not know it. You may not know where you're getting your feelings from, but they come from all around us because we're all connected. And that is, right now it feels like chaotic. It feels heavy. It's difficult, and everybody's in all these different positions in this awakening process. So we have people at all different stages of this development, and that is, can be frustrating. But then every frustration is a part of your challenges and your own growth and what you're trying to learn and what you're trying to improve. So don't get, like, so many people get so caught up in all these stupid people, and they're not awake, and they're choosing to not be awake. Well, it's not really a choice. It's more of it's factored into their DNA when they're going to wake up. It's not like that they can wake up because they want to wake up. They don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Because it's supposed to happen precisely at the moment it happens for them, which I think it is, whatever is coming up, I see more and more and more people talking about it, like science people, politicians, like there's something that is coming, and I don't know, what it is, but it's going to be big. It's going to impact us all, and every day. Every single day. It could be today. Right now, the ground is vibrating. And that is, trippy. I just saw this girl who was in this video, and she just bought 5 acres. And so I was trying to see where she got it, in Northern California. And she was so excited. She's starting her homestead. She wants to take everybody on this journey with her. And she'll tell you how she was able to get this 5 acres and stuff. And just like stuff like that, where it's like, okay, so are they doing this so that they can distract people? Because I said a long while ago, even if you go out and you try and go get a homestead right now, everything is falling apart. So there's no running from this stuff falling apart. It will find you. And I saw a guy who they got their homestead and it just got burned down in the fires. And so we're here to learn and grow certain things. We can't outsmart any action that is there for us. We can't run from it. It's right on your tail. It's always going to happen. There's no getting away from it. And whatever your lessons are. But it's just curious, because, she made like this whole thing of like how I got the land, which I was like, so they give her this land to try and get people, I don't know, like if a bunch of people went on land there, that place is going underwater. So, I don't know. It just is weird. It's weird. Like, go start your life here. But, you know, it's not going to be there long. And who knows how long. Like, I've got this place and it's under the same kind of thing. All of us on the coast, especially the West Coast, I mean, it's going way back. West Coast is really going to make changes, all the different places, but the East Coast doesn't have as much change on the coastline as it does in the middle at the Mississippi. That makes the biggest changes, but on the West Coast, it's taking a huge bite back. And, and I don't know how long it's all going to take to do it. If this is going to be over 10 years or something, but this is all going to be happening the whole time. There's going to keep being earthquakes. There's going to keep being volcanoes. There's going to keep being all that stuff. That's why I said I think that at some point they're going to start moving us to places that are going to be more safe. So, everybody's getting their ass kicked with all these different storms and fires and hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanoes, earthquakes. Like, there's so much stuff going on. And everybody's battling this stuff. Like, this is the end of something. And there's a lot of people who are going to go out with this end because, there's a definite tediousness to what is to come because it's going to have so much to do with healing and growth and expansion and creation. And, every soul has to be in the right place for that. And so I don't know, because there's lots of people who I talk to, and it's just like, man, how are they going to break this programming? Like, it's so crazy. And then you think, well, maybe they're just going to leave. Maybe they're not here to break it. They're just here for their three-dimensional experience. And then they're going to leave and go back to where they came from. And maybe they're going to, show up in the age of Aquarius. Maybe not. I don't know. And I think the age of Aquarius will also be so big. It's not like we're going to know everybody. It's going to be big because it's going to be expansive because it's going to be included other realms and stuff. It's not going to just be the places that we create or something. Because when all this stuff really starts being where everything opens up to us, we're going to be able to go past the ice wall. We're going to be able to go past the front. Everything is going to be open. So there's going to be, it's like a certain part of the heavens just opens up. Like, there really is this big change that is occurring. And it is, it's crazy because it looks so much like a sci-fi movie. And this huge expansion that's going. Oh yeah, I saw another video too of this tunnel thing that was found in the streets in Seattle. Oh yeah, the whistleblower guy, but he's going against the Kittitas. Kittitas is the county too where they gave me the ticket for 5 miles over, even though he said I was going 15 miles over, even though I'm just trying to pass to get off the freeway. That just pisses me off every time I think of it. And then they pull you over real quick and then give you a ticket. And then the guy said, well, I'll just do it for 5 over. And so then I wait to hear, and then they tell me it's $100. I was like, bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm not going to pay it. That's some bullshit. And so my daughter had looked it up last year to see if there was a warrant out for me. But that is this Kittitas County. Whatcom is the one that is saying that they're going to take my house. So, and that's a daily thing too. It's like, well, but so he was saying that he's making charges on some official in Kittitas because once he came out as a whistleblower, which he has a whole story that he is saying, because there's like some malpractice done to him or something too. But then this DA or this guy who works for the AG or something, he put a warrant out for the whistleblower guy. And so the whistleblower guy who's been fighting this whole thing. Now he is making charges on this DA guy or this AG or whatever. But I mean, this is all going to be coming out more and more with the corruption in the politics and stuff. Like, there's going to be no surprises on that. And it's going to go all the way down. Like I've said, it's going to go all the way down in HOAs and city council. That's why there's going to be a whole thing about get involved in your communities. Don't leave other people to run your communities. Get involved. And there's already people that's in them, and they're going to become leaders in communities and stuff. They already have that. It's like imprinted into their DNA because they're here to play that role, to lead communities into a structured way of development, and where people are more involved, where they aren't just passively being led because they're just leading us off a cliff into a fucking fire pit to make us sick. So, anyways, all of these things are, we're in the process of all these things changing. It's all happening all around us. And you can see it and you can witness it. And you can, it's not that much of a projection to look ahead and see where it's all going to. But there is, there's a lot of people who think like it's all going to this really bad thing. But this is where this big flip comes in. This is the universal action. This is where the Christians all keep thinking Jesus is coming to save us. It's not Jesus coming to save us. It's this energetic flip that is created from, because it's not just like the universe doing it. We do it. We do it because we all become so outraged. Like there is so much outrage on this dog thing. And, that makes me glad that we are all on the same page, that we don't want animals to be treated this way, that we need to be better. But then we don't want, grown-ass men to go chase down boys and beat the snot out of them. We need role models. We need people to show people how to live better, not how to be worse and like, I'll solve it. We don't want this kind of solving in our world. We want to be more respectful of others too. And see, like, I'm sure this kid's got to have learned his lesson at this point. Like, and now he's, being Casey, whatever her name was, Casey, was it Andrews or something? Oh, Casey Anthony. Yeah. He's becoming like the Casey Anthony. He's going to be like, you can't even go out in public, dude. Like, you're 15 years old. Like, Jesus Christ, you got a long life to lead with everybody knowing who the fuck you are. May as well change name at this point. It's like, fuck. But I have said all along, there's going to be a lot of this kind of stuff. That was going to be really big of humility, shame, correct. Like, people were going to be really being shown. There's other people who have big accounts that are being shown for being corrupt and all sorts of things. I keep seeing all sorts of things. Gypsy's being really shown. Like, boy, that really took a big turn where there was all this support on her. Now all of a sudden it's really turned. And people are seeing, how shady she is. And, I mean, that's fucking, you were involved in murdering your mother. Like, I'm really horrible. Like there's ways to do somebody in that's not violent, and then there's extreme violence. Whoa, extreme violence, and she starts to knock it over. My girl, my baby girl. So, anyways, I will get going, and we'll just see. Like, anything can happen at any moment. The sirens could go off and they could say, somebody just released a nuke and we've got 10 minutes to live. The sky could start opening up. Like, anything can happen at any time. That's what I say. Just be prepared for anything. The power could suddenly go off and us not have power for days or weeks. Like, anything can happen in this time of change. And it's all for this purpose, to get people to stop in their tracks, to look at things, to go deeper, it's like everything has to end, because you can't have a beginning when you haven't had an ending. We can't, and we're not dragging this stuff forward, even though there's people who think like we should. No, this is the ending of what was, and we're going to have a beginning of what it is that we want. And we are the creators. We are the ones. And it is all this stuff we're going through is what is the drive and the motivation. So it's not, it's like the universe knows what's coming, but it's like we are the ones who make it happen. We are the ones who create it. That's why there's such a celebration in the cosmos, because it's like humanity has gained some humanity. Like, because there is like a lot of inhumane things that humans have done. And so we are coming together in a collaboration of kindness and wanting to be more involved and take ourselves more seriously. And, it's like a whole evolving of humanity, but it's like we're doing it. It's not being done for us. Nobody's saving us. Nobody's coming in and doing it for us. The only way that we have any kind of idea is just different people talking about, like, well, I did this and this is working. Well, I did this is working. And so to see like what's working and what's not working, and you can kind of look out and see, like, people who are doing shitty things, it's not working anymore. It's blowing up in their faces, and it's going to just keep getting worse. And what's going to keep working is going in a better, positive direction. So everything that you do out of kindness and love and healing and stuff, that's going to just do better and better and better. And there's going to be like good repercussions that come from your healing and stuff, instead of what we've always had of just, this beat down world. Everything's going to change. So, this is what this whole process is about, is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.